be accountable, the first order of business needs to be to finish the work they started last session to get those bills passed that will secure our elections. In my view, and being pretty deep into it, I see about 40,000 fraudulent ballots. I can tell you that it's not 100% on the Democratic side, but it's certainly the vast majority. And it's in those areas that the legislation is moving forward. But what I encourage our voters out there is that, we have 1.6 million Republicans. It'll be 1.8 easily by Election Day because, again, in part, the voter registration project I'm, funding and pushing, but also the fact that independents, 1.3 million of those, and Democrats are only now down to 1.2, is we need to bring a wave to the election. We don't just want to be concerned about these 30,000 or so fraudulent leftist ballots. Let's bring a wave like we saw in Virginia. Let's overcome all of that and then some.
So good.
That all the way down ballot, we make this state bright red again.
Yep, I think we're on track to do that. I think a lot of people. It doesn't take a radio show like this to expose what's happening. I think people are starting to see it for themselves, and the amazing thing about well, and they're still going to trickle in because the more that happens.
Well, CNN I don't even know if this is a recent poll, but if CNN is saying only 50% of Americans are disapproving of Biden, that's CNN. Yeah. Cut that in half.
Yeah, cut that in 10th. That means 5 people.
Right, 5 people. 5 people in circles and chairs.
They're illegal immigrants. They're not even.
5 people in circles and chairs.
In masks.
Yeah. Are supporting Biden still.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
So...
Go
ahead, Lindsey.
We're seeing it all across the state, ladies. It's incredible enthusiasm out there. We're doing almost 1,000 miles a week across this beautiful state, and literally record audiences. Even in a non-presidential election year before next year's election, people are so enthused out there, and they're gravitating to our message, which is non-politician, fighter. I've got every reason to go do this for the American people. This is not about me. This is not John McCain's seat. This is Arizona's seat in the U.S. Senate, and I intend to be a force of nature up there to be taking on all the establishment and all the leftists, the Marxists, because this is America, and I intend to be that voice on the floor.
You've got the voice for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I love how you put your money where your mouth is in so many ways, Jim. I love that about you, how important Made in America is to you. And I know you probably take financial hits to make sure that you're bringing work back to, our country. And I love how on your site, you guys go visit his site. His first 3 goals are America first, to secure the border, and 3, to streamline federal government. So, tell me a little bit about when it comes to streamlining federal government, just blow that up for a second.
Surely. Well, the federal government's just gotten totally out of control. This beautiful republic was based on states, having most of the control and there being somewhat of a nucleus that all the states come together for a federal government. It's gotten flipped on its head. And it's time to call it for what it is. This is not what was intended in our beautiful Constitution. And ladies, I can say the biggest part of that I see is just this massive, bloated federal budget. All of these massive dollars that we send out, these agencies keep growing and they need something to do, so they keep getting in our lives. And my intent, ladies, is this: I'm going to drive hard for a balanced budget. I'm going to drive hard for cutting back federal agencies. I'm going to drive hard for getting the authority back to the states. I just take the Forest Service for a moment. There is exactly zero logic service to be managing the forest inside the boundaries of the state of Arizona. We don't need to go to Washington to ask permission to do what we need to do here with biomass plants that we need to put in to control our wildfires. Secondly, Department of Education. On the first 27 weeks, we've given about 90 presentations in front of almost 50,000 Arizonians. And I asked the question, audience participation, who thinks the Department of Education? A single hand has gone up. That tells me that I'm on track when I say close the Department of Education, get that back to local entities. And, of course, we've got work to do, as we've seen with parents in Scottsdale rising up that I'm supporting in their potential lawsuit. But the darn federal government out of it. Yeah. Get it back local.
Well, get it back to the idea that the government doesn't raise our children. You know, we raise our children.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh! And
wait a minute, you're talking like a terrorist, Lindsay.
I know.
I think you need to calm down. I bet we're gonna get censored.
There. This is our last show, everybody. Jan, what's his butts writing down my license plate as we speak. I'm showing up in Scottsdale next week at the next rally. Right. I don't even have kids.
They're gonna have all of your financials up on the internet tomorrow.
Well, okay, my $12 bank account. I'm fighting the good fight. Yeah, I'm going to show up in Scottsdale one day. But, Jim, you're going to be there with me, I heard. So this guy, in case you guys haven't heard, listeners, there's a 27-year-old single parentless child serving on the Scottsdale Unified Board School District. And he lives with Daddy. And Daddy has a helmet on, riding a motorcycle, showing up at these Scottsdale rallies fighting critical race theory and masking. And Daddy is going undercover, and he's writing down their license plate, and he's hired a private investigator to write down their license plates and take pictures of moms like Brandy and I advocating for our parents so he can turn them into the FBI. This is insane. And in the video, he calls out Amanda Ray. And Jim, you've been talking to Amanda Ray about some of this stuff, right?
So proud of what she and other, as she affectionately calls them, mama bears, are rising up for their kids. And as I've told them, if you want to pursue this further after we get this clown out of office, that if you want to pursue it further with suing the school board to truly get to the bottom of the rot, that I'm all behind you financially. I'll support you, ladies.
Wow, that's so awesome,
in order
Jim.
to be able to find out what in the heck is going on with these people that we either elect and or pay for to educate our children. They're not there to give us political agendas.
Yeah, they work for us. Okay, wait. Hold that thought, because I want to go crazy right here. So we got another break, and we'll come right back. All right, guys, we're back with Jim Lehman running for Arizona Senate, and I've watched Jim several times now at rallies, and again, going back to just appreciating that he has done so much in business and is so committed to this country. Was a veteran for 6 years in the Army as an Army officer, has committed his business to Made in America, even when it hurts his bottom line, gives 10% consistently to charity, won't take a check when he does win, really is just all about saving Arizona and saving this great nation. And we just ended our last segment with what's happening in the Scottsdale Unified School District and really all over with these school boards thinking that they are going to tell parents what's up. And Lindsay and I, we're so, that word mama bear is why we're here. Neither Lindsay or I ever thought in a million years we'd have a political talk show. I came from a beauty background, and a couple years ago was led into ministry. In my ministry, I got to this point where I couldn't avoid anymore what's happening around us in politics. And people would say, "Why are you getting into politics?" I'm not getting into politics. Politics are getting into us. Have you guys noticed? I'm having to mask, and now 43 million people left their job last month for the whole jab situation. Freedom is being taken away slowly, slowly, slowly. The road to hell is gradual. And I had to start getting loud in ministry saying, if you care about people, policy affects people. And so you have to care about policy and who's making policy. And Lindsay, same. Lindsay, same thing. She lost her businesses, 6 businesses. She's a mother trying to feed her kids and says, you know what, I'm going to open my business, and makes front page news because we've got so many people that are willing to just walk the line thinking it's going to get back to normal. And now we've got these school boards where these people work for us and they're telling us what's up. And now they're coming after parents, calling them terrorists, teaching racism in our schools, and it's insanity.
The problem is that we have let it go on for so long, and I just mean even the last 18 months has been, I'll shut my business down. Oh, okay, I'll wear a mask. Oh, I'll oblige. Well, we've obliged ourselves into this situation. And now I think the only reason we're seeing people start to rise up is because they're coming after our kids. And that is,
so
that's
Jim,
fire.
I want you to, again, say what you said. And I want to reiterate what you're willing to do to help in that area. It's massive.
Thank you, ladies, for that. Amanda Ray and these parents that were under this unbelievable, communist-like surveillance by Board of Education individuals who we put into those offices to educate our children, and they're off on this tangent is just a bridge too far for me. And so reached out to Amanda, and she told me she's a supporter of our campaign already. And I want to let her know that if they want to pursue this against the school board to a deeper level to get an independent investigation and via lawsuit, then I'm happy to stand behind them financially in their support. And this is not something that's on the surface. It's easy to imagine. This goes much deeper. We're seeing that in other, as you described, some of these mandates that have no place in our schools. Some of the CRT indoctrination has no place in our schools, and I feel fairly certain that the rot goes deeper and that we need to expose it all. So I'm happy to stand behind Amanda and support him.
Yeah. And Amanda's just, we only have a couple minutes before our break again, but Amanda Ray, she's just a mom, right? She's not in politics she's just a mom that they have specifically went and targeted because she's making the stand to advocate for her child. I think that is one of the most alarming things that we're seeing in the last 18 months is we are not terrorists. We are not doing anything violent, aggressive. We're not burning down buildings. We're not even, picketing in the streets. We're simply showing up and saying, I am speaking for my child, and I have every right to because I am this child's mother and I run this child's life. Here's why I'm here, to advocate for my child. Oh, well, now we're taking down your license plates. Now we're reporting you to the FBI. Like, how much worse? What else is a mother supposed to do other than let the school board railroad her and say these policies are in effect whether you like it or not? I mean, that's alarming. And so, honestly, Jim, to be a mom and to know that if I show up and do that I'm not alone, that someone in office, someone running for office is willing to step up, morally, financially, and say, I've got your back, that makes a huge difference. And that changes the course of our action from here on out. Because now as a mom, I say, if I know that I can count on this person, I'm way more likely to muster up the courage to go forth and advocate for my child and know that you've got my back. I mean, that makes a huge difference. I don't care what you do in office. That alone has made a difference, and you're not even elected yet.
Yeah.
So thank you.
This is our country.
That's right.
We must rise up and save it.
All right. When we get back, I want to talk to you about the Lord Jesus Christ Almighty. Welcome back, guys. You're listening to the She's So Right show with Brandy Barclay and Lindsey Graham. Today, we are talking with Jim Lehman, running for U.S. State Senate. Gosh.
Saying that right? U.S. State Senate? Is that how it's said?
Is that how it's said, Jim?
U.S. Senate.
U.S. Senate.
Oh, sorry. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeremy, can we edit that stupidity out the last few times?
U.S. and State Senate. No, it's U.S. Senate.
He's running for, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Wow, okay. I'm going to just scribble out my notes. But anyway, Jim is standing for everything that we are advocating for. So we want you to check out his website in case we don't blast it at the very end. It's jimlehman.com. You can read everything that he stands for. You can read his policies. You can read who he's endorsed by. Guys, I can't encourage you enough to donate to his campaign because there is a lot of things that we spend our money on. But right now, it's pretty important that we spend our money supporting the candidates that are going to actually work for us. And bringing into that statement really quick, I want to read something, Jim, and then have you respond. In the Bible, Romans 13:5, it says, Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also because of conscience. This is also why you pay taxes.